Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is February 15th, 2026. And ladies and gentlemen, we have an update in regards to the Barcelona elections. Also, Hansi Flick addressing the refereeing problems or controversy. And finally, we do have an injury update ahead of the match against Girona. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Bo, and welcome to the first out of 4 videos that I will be posting today. Yes, you heard that right, 4 videos. Since yesterday I decided to take the day off, I didn't post anything. Today I'm posting 4 videos so you can catch up on all Barcelona news. Now let's begin with an election update, because it's being reported that Joan Laporta, who is no longer the president of FC Barcelona after resigning in order to run for re-election, will officially present his platform after the match against Girona. Now, during this presentation, he will also present his book, which is called How We Saved Barca. Now, of course, during this presentation, Joan Laporta will kind of lay out what his campaign is based on, what he hopes to achieve during his second, I guess it would be his third term, but second consecutive one. So, of course, we'll be here ready to cover it. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you can get all the updates about Barcelona, including election news. Now, speaking of election news, today several candidates for the Barcelona presidency went to the Barcelona offices and picked up their official support forms. Now, if you don't know what a support form is, it's pretty much a form that you take it to associate. The associate fills it up, signs it, and says that he supports you to be a candidate. Now, candidates need 2,337 signatures or 2,337 official support forms filled out by socios in order to be considered an official candidate. Now, Barcelona gives out 5,000 forms free. The first 5,000 forms are free. Any more that you want, any more forms that you want or you request, you have to pay for them. Now, Joan Laporta has requested 60,000 forms. Victor Font has requested 50,000 forms. And Marc Siria has requested 10,000 forms. Now, you might ask, Mo, if you only need 2,337, why would someone like Laporta request 60,000? Well, these candidates do it kind of like a measure, right? A measure to see how many socios out there support their campaign. But anyways, on to the next bit of news, because of course today the team trained ahead of tomorrow's match against Girona, and a match where Barcelona will need to win, because today, or I should say, yeah, was it today? It was today. Today, Real Madrid beat Real Sociedad 4-1, not with 1, but with 2 penalties. The second one being incredibly controversial while Vinicius Jr. did what he does best, which is diving. After all, he is the honorary winner of the Dive d'Or. Now, Real Madrid are officially ahead of Barcelona since they did win their respective match. So tomorrow, Barcelona need to win their match in order to pull ahead of Real Madrid once again and claim the top spot of La Liga table. Now, during this training, Rafinha once again trained with the team. And during the pre-match press conference, Hansi Flick confirmed that, yes, Rafinha will be available for tomorrow's match. And of course, that's great news, because Rafinha ended up missing 3 matches, if I remember correctly, due to some adductor muscle overload. But tomorrow he has been cleared for. The one player who will not be available for tomorrow is Marcus Rashford, who once again did not train with the team. He's still dealing with that knee discomfort. Of course, he did miss the match against Atletico Madrid, and it looks like he will be missing the match tomorrow against Girona. But the good news, of course, is that Coutinho is back. And also the good news is that February will be the month of comebacks, because not only has Rafinha come back, it's expected that Gabi will come back towards the end of the month. And Pedri is expected to come back on the 22nd against Levante. Now, I forgot to mention that Rafinha and Rashford news were both confirmed by Flick during a pre-match press conference. So it's official. It's 100%. Rafinha available tomorrow. Rashford not available tomorrow. Anyway, speaking of Hansi Flick and his pre-match press conference, he was asked about the refereeing controversy that happened against Atletico Madrid and in general, because Barcelona have issued an official statement. They have filed a grievance with the Royal Spanish Football Federation, and released an official statement. I will be covering that official statement during my second video of today because, yes, there's a lot to talk about during that statement. So stay tuned to that video. But this is what Hansi Flick had to say. There are things I cannot change. We are all human and we can all make mistakes. The most important thing is to keep improving. Again, pay attention to this line. The most important thing is to keep improving. And that's what I want to see from my team, from my coaching staff, and also from other parties like the referees. We are talking about football and everyone must remain neutral. Mistakes can happen, but the idea is to continue working towards improvement. Again, the idea is to continue working towards improvement. So Hansi Flick here sending a message to the referees, to the CTA, to the Royal Spanish Football Federation, and doing it in a subtle way, saying, we need to improve this, right? Hey, mistakes can happen. Everybody makes mistakes. We're all human. We're not robots. We're not AI. But nonetheless, we should always be working towards improvement. And that's something that's very, very, very lacking amongst Spanish refereeing, where these referees don't seem to improve. In fact, they don't even want to improve. I mean, every time a referee makes a mistake, nobody does anything. The CTA doesn't do anything. The Royal Spanish Football Federation does anything. Nobody does anything. They don't review the error. They don't see what went wrong. They don't try to learn from it. They don't try to retrain the referees. Simply, mistake is done. Whatever. We move on. And these referees keep making mistakes, and nothing improves. In fact, the VAR was implemented back in 2019, almost 7 years ago. And not only has it not improved, I feel like the VAR has actually gotten worse. Like the VAR is being applied in worse ways than it was at the beginning, which makes no sense, right? It's usually a learning curve. Usually when you implement new technology, at first it takes you some trial and error and then starts to improve with time. But here, it's gotten worse with time. So Hansi Flick saying to the refs, hey, like, I get it, you guys make mistakes, but how about we try to improve? Again, something that this league just simply refuses to do. And if Javier Tebas and La Liga truly want to compete with the Premier League, they need to do something about this, because there's no way in hell you could compete with the Premier League when your referees are absolute trash, garbage, the worst of the worst. Now, Hansi Flick also followed those statements with the following. After the Atletico match, I went to the referee and spoke to him to ask about the goal that was ruled offside. There was a good dialogue, but it will remain private. I always believe that communication between referees and coaches is good, and that's a positive step. The referee's mistake was not why we lost, but we have to change what we can change. So Hansi Flick, again, making it very clear, hey, referee mistakes is not why we lost. It's something I've said over and over again in my videos. Barcelona did not lose against Atletico Madrid because of the referees. We lost because we did not show up to that match. But nonetheless, we need to talk about the referee mistakes because they were absolutely egregious. From the red card that Giuliano should have received to that offside goal from Cubarsí that was, or the goal by Cubarsí that was ruled offside, that was clearly not offside, to the 8 minutes that they took to draw those offside lines by hand. I mean, it was just an absolute shit show during the second half, and that needs to improve. Again, not an excuse for Barca's loss, but nonetheless, that needs to be addressed. Now, speaking of shitty referees, bottom of the barrel referees, it's been announced who will referee Barcelona's match tomorrow, and it's no other than Cesar Soto-Grado, someone that has reffed Barcelona's matches 16 times in the past, during which Barcelona have won 7 times, drew 3 times, and lost 6 times. And this is the 3rd time that Cesar Soto-Grado will be reffing Barcelona during this season. The last time was against Atletico Madrid, where he showed a red card to Pedri and awarded a penalty against Eric Garcia for a handball, which was thankfully saved by Wojciech Szczesny. Now, if you think that this referee looks familiar to you, well, there's a reason. For example, he was the ref in that 2023-2024 El Clásico match that failed to award Lamine Yamal that goal. Remember that goal that goes in and then it bounces out and they say that it didn't cross the line, even though clearly it did. And then the camera that was pointing right at goal magically was not working. Well, that was him. Also, he's the one who awarded, who ruled a goal by Joao Felix as offside, even though it wasn't, in the match against Getafe. In that same match, he refused to award Barcelona a penalty kick that was by a foul clearly committed on Araujo in the penalty box, because he said that Gabi had touched the ball with his hand before that play, which again also didn't happen. That match ended up in a draw. Also under Koeman, he's the one who awarded a penalty against Frankie de Jong, and then Barcelona ended up losing against Getafe. Again, very controversial penalty. So in other words, a really terrible referee that has always punished Barcelona. So let's hope tomorrow the team can be convincing so this idiot doesn't influence the match. Anyways, that is all for this video. We'll be uploading 3 more videos. Yes, you heard that right. 3 more videos. So stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, be scars.